When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Halloween podcast. I am your host, Lyle Perez, and today we're in episode 13 of our Haunted America series. I've been doing 13 straight days of these episodes, so I hope you guys are enjoying them. It's September 24, 2024, and today we're exploring the haunted heartland, Illinois. While Illinois is famous for its vibrant cities and historical landmarks, it's also home to some of the most chilling ghost stories in America. I had a lot of fun with this one, guys, so hold on to your seats and let's dive into these 10 haunted locations in Illinois. Our first stop takes us to the Congress Plaza Hotel in Chicago, a grand establishment that has been a fixture of the city since it opened in 1893 for the world's Columbian Expo. Over the years, the hotel has hosted numerous celebrities, politicians, and even a few infamous guests, but it's also known for its haunted history. The Congress Plaza Hotel is said to be haunted by several spirits, the most famous of which is known as Peg Leg Johnny, a vagrant who lived in the hotel during the early 20th century. He is often seen roaming the halls, his wooden leg thumping on the carpeted floors. Guests have reported hearing his footsteps in the dead of night, along with the sound of a man humming an old tune. Johnny has been seen near the service elevator, where he is believed to have met his tragic end. Room 441 is considered the most haunted room in the hotel. Legend has it that a woman jumped or was pushed from the window many years ago. Guests who stay in this room often report being awoken by the sound of a woman sobbing or the feeling of being watched. Some have even seen the apparition of a woman standing by the window, staring out at the city before vanishing into thin air. The Congress Plaza Hotel remains open and is still a popular destination for those hoping to encounter one of its many spirits. Our next stop takes us to the Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, one of the most haunted cemeteries in the world. This small abandoned graveyard, located in a forest preserved in the town of Midlothian, has a long history of paranormal activity. Established in the 1800s, it was a final resting place for many of the era's early settlers, but it has also been a site of desecration and rumored occult rituals. Visitors to the Bachelor's Grove have reported seeing a ghostly woman in white, known as the Madonna of Bachelor's Grove, who is often seen holding a baby in her arms. She has been spotted wandering the cemetery grounds, her face filled with sorrow. One of the most famous photographs ever taken here shows a translucent woman sitting on a broken tombstone, staring sadly into the distance. Many believe she's searching for her lost child, and her spirit is unable to rest. There are also reports of a phantom farmhouse that appears in the distance, shimmering in the moonlight, before vanishing as one approaches. Some have seen ghostly figures in old-fashioned clothing walking among the graves, disappearing behind trees and into the fog. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is open to the public, but visitors often leave with a sense of unease and feeling like they're not alone. Our next location is the Woodstock Opera House in the historic town of Woodstock. Built in 1889, this charming theater has seen countless performances, but it's also known for the spirit of a woman named Elvira. Elvira was a young actress in the early 1900s who performed at the Opera House. She dreamed of fame, but her career never took off. Heartbroken, she climbed to the balcony and leaped to her death. Since that tragic day, her spirit has been seen in seat D5, her favorite spot in the theater. Witnesses have seen a shadowy figure sitting there, watching the performance with a look of deep longing. Elvira is known to be a playful spirit. She's been blamed for the strange occurrences that happen during rehearsals and performances. Costumes have been found moved or scattered, and props have gone missing only to turn up in odd places. Actors have felt a cold hand brush against them or heard a soft whisper in the air. One crew member reported seeing Elvira's reflection in a mirror backstage, only for her to disappear when he turned around. The Woodstock Opera House remains open, and many believe Elvira is still enjoying the performances she never got to star in. Next, we visit the McPike Mansion in Alton, a city often called one of the most haunted towns in America. Built in 1869 by Henry Guest McPike, this mansion has stood empty for decades. Its crumbling walls and overgrown gardens are adding to its eerie reputation. One of the most active spirits is that of Sarah Wells, a former servant of the McPike family. People have seen her in the upstairs rooms, always in a long, dark dress with her face partially hidden by a bonnet. Those who encountered her report feeling an icy chill and smell the scent of lavender, one of her favorite flowers. She's been heard humming old lullabies, and some have even seen her carrying a tray as if she's still tending to her duties. There are also sightings of Mr. McPike himself, often seen on the front porch or in the garden, gazing out as if he's expecting someone. Visitors have heard the sounds of laughters and clicking glasses, like a ghostly party that's never ending. There have been sightings of children playing in the yard, only to disappear when approached. The McPike Mansion is undergoing restoration, but ghost tours are still being offered, where visitors can experience its haunted history firsthand.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now we head to Manteno State Hospital, which opened in 1930 as a psychiatric facility and remained in operation until 1985. During those years, thousands of patients were treated here, and many experienced horrific conditions and treatments like electroshock therapy and lobotomies. The spirits of former patients are said to haunt the grounds, and their presence is felt by those who visit. Shadowy figures have been seen moving through the dark hallways, and distant screams and moans are often heard late at night. One of the most famous spirits is a woman known as Mary. She is often seen wandering the grounds, her hospital gown flowing in the wind as she calls out for her children. Witnesses describe her as being pale, her eyes wide with fear and desperation. There's also the spirit of a doctor who is believed to have performed many of the hospital's controversial treatments, He's often seen walking the corridors, clipboard in hand, and some have even heard him muttering medical jargon under his breath. The hospital is now closed to the public, but its haunted history continues to attract those that are interested in the paranormal. Our next stop is the old Joliet Prison, a grim fortress that housed inmates from 1858 all the way until 2002. Known for its brutal conditions, this prison was home to many notorious criminals, including Lester Babyface Nelson. But it's the spirits of the inmates who never left that give this place its haunted reputation. The most common seen ghost is that of an inmate who died during an escape attempt in the 1920s. He's often spotted near the prison walls, still trying to find his way out. People have heard the sound of scratching like fingers dragging across stone, and some have seen a figure trying to climb the wall before disappearing. There's also the spirit of a former warden who continues to patrol the cell blocks. His heavy footsteps echo through the halls, even after midnight. In the chapel, people report seeing a spectral priest performing last rites for prisoners who are long gone. Visitors have seen shadowy figures and heard faint prayers or hymns. The old Joliet prison is now open for tours, but those who enter often feel the weight of its dark past. Now we're visiting the Rose Hotel in Elizabethtown. Built in 1812, this charming inn sits on the bank of the Ohio River. It has welcomed many travelers over the years, but some guests never left. The most famous ghost is the Lady in Black. She is believed to be the spirit of a former owner's wife who died of a broken heart. She's often seen standing on the balcony, looking out over the river with a mournful expression. Guests have reported feeling a sudden chill when she passes and hearing soft crying in the middle of the night. Phantom footsteps have been heard on the wooden floors, and doors sometimes open and close on their own. One guest awoke to find a dark figure at the foot of her bed, which vanished when she turned on the light. The Rose Hotel is still open, offering a cozy place to stay with a ghostly twist. Next, we're off to Greenwood Cemetery in Decatur, one of Illinois' oldest and most haunted cemeteries. Established in 1857, it's the final resting place for many of the town's earliest residents. The most famous spirit is the Black Angel, a mysterious figure who roams the cemetery. She's believed to be the woman who died of grief after losing her family. Witnesses have seen her dressed in a long black cloak, wandering among the tombstones with her face hidden by a veil. People have heard the sound of soft crying and felt an overwhelming sense of sadness. Visitors have also seen ghostly children playing among the graves, their laughter echoing through the cemetery. There's even a phantom carriage that appears on the old paths, only to vanish as it gets near the gate. Greenwood Cemetery is open to the public, but those who visit often feel they're not alone. Back in Joliet, we visit the Rialto Square Theater, a beautiful venue that's entertained audiences since 1926. But beneath its glamorous facade is a haunted past. The most famous ghost is Esmeralda, a former actress who died tragically backstage. She's often seen wandering the aisles or appearing on stage dressed in a flowing gown. Some have heard her singing softly, her voice filled with longing and sadness. There's also a ghostly usher who still guides guests to their seats, even though he passed away decades ago. During performances, lights flicker and cold spots appear without explanation. Staff have heard footsteps on the balcony and seen a shadowy figure watching from above. The Rialto Square Theater remains open, and visitors may find they're not the only ones watching the shows. Our final stop is Archer Avenue in Chicago, one of the most haunted roads in Illinois. This winding road passes by old cemeteries, ancient churches, and a number of haunted sites. The most famous ghost here is Resurrection Mary. You might remember her from a couple of weeks ago when we did Haunted Highways. This tale is so good, we wanted to do it again. Mary is a young woman who died in a car accident in the 1930s. She's often seen hitchhiking along the road, wearing a white dress. Drivers who pick her up say she stays silently until they pass Resurrection Cemetery. Then, she vanishes from the car without a trace. People have also seen her dancing at local ballrooms, disappearing when the music stops. She's been spotted walking through the cemetery gates, her figure glowing faintly in the moonlight. Some drivers have swerved to avoid a young woman who appears out of nowhere, only to find the road empty. Archer Avenue is a popular spot for ghost hunters hoping to see Resurrection Mary or other spirits along this eerie route. All right, everyone, that is our look into the state of Illinois. I hope you guys enjoyed the eerie hotels, the haunted theaters. The pirate state is filled with ghostly tales waiting to be uncovered. If you're enjoying our look into Haunted America, why don't you leave me a 5-star review wherever you're getting your podcasts from, be it Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Please leave us a 5-star review and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, or want to suggest anything for a future show, make sure you send me an email to halloweenpodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. And our Facebook page is one happening place, so if you want to get in on all of that Halloween goodness, just go to facebook.com/thehalloweenpodcast. Give us a like. And if you want to support the show, go ahead and go to our website, thehalloweenpodcast.com. Go to our merch store and check out all of the cool merch that I got there. Lots of cool stuff show up all the time. So go on there, buy some stuff, and support the Halloween podcast. And be sure to come back tomorrow as we continue our Haunted America series in Indiana. We'll be exploring haunted bridges, ghostly inns, and so much more. Until then, guys, stay spooky. I'll see you later. Have a good night.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.